we are now going to see how n choose r is equal to n minus 1 choose r plus n minus 1 choose r minus 1. Okay, so this just follows from our definition of n choose r. And what is that? N choose r is given by factorial n divided by factorial r times n minus r factorial. Now that becomes your left hand side, right? Perfect. Now, what is the right hand side? N minus 1 choose r, which becomes n minus 1 factorial divided by r factorial times n minus 1 minus r factorial plus, and this n minus 1 choose r minus 1 becomes n minus 1 factorial divided by r minus 1 factorial into n minus 1 minus r plus 1 factorial. Why is that? I just subtract n minus 1 and r minus 1. Rather, r minus 1 is subtracted from n minus 1. That's why you get n minus 1 minus r minus of 1 and minus becomes plus. So you have a minus 1 and a plus 1 here, which gets cancelled, which gives you simply n minus r factorial here. So this is the same old school method of trying to prove a formula by showing that the left hand side is indeed equal to right hand side. Let's see how we can proceed. As you can see, there is a n factorial in the numerator on the left hand side and n minus 1 factorial on the right hand side. So I'll take n minus 1 factorial common on the right hand side and then bring that down to left hand side, which makes it n factorial divided by n minus 1 factorial, which you all know. What is 10 factorial by 9 factorial? It is simply 10, right? So n factorial divided by n minus 1 factorial happens to be n. Correct? So you get an n here and these things, numerators become 1 and 1 on the right hand side. Okay? And then next, do you observe r factorial in the denominator throughout? And an r minus 1 factorial here. So what I do is I will multiply the numerators by r factorial. So what do I get? R factorial gets cancelled here when I put r factorial in the numerator on the left hand side, and then r factorial again on the right hand side gets cancelled. But when you put a r factorial here in the second term, r factorial divided by r minus 1 factorial gives you r. So r remains in the numerator, right? And then the next step, do you see what's happening? I'm multiplying throughout by n minus r factorial, right? And that gives me simply a little observation. One more step tells me this simply makes this n equals n minus r, the first term becomes n minus r, right? Rest gets cancelled, plus r. So n equals n minus r plus r minus r gets cancelled. This implies n equals n. Of course, left hand side is equal to right hand side. And so you go back and you say that the formula is indeed right. So how do we show that n choose r is equal to n choose n minus r? Right? In a very mathematical way. So what is n choose r? Factorial n divided by factorial r into factorial n minus r. Correct? But what is n choose n minus r? It is n factorial divided by n minus r factorial times n minus of n minus r factorial. You see n and minus n gets cancelled and this becomes r here, and as you can see, the left hand side is equal to right hand side. Remember, this is how we used to show a lot of things to be true in our school days. Basic algebra, right? So LHS is equal to RHS, and hence we show that n choose r is indeed equal to n choose n minus r.